Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Desire Dialogues. I'm your host, sex, love, and relationship coach, Lauren, where we make sex juicy and feel really fucking authentic. So, hey, friends, today we're going to dive headfirst, pun absolutely intended, into one of the most intimate, exciting, and pleasure-filled acts, oral sex. So, hey, whether you're a beginner, you want some new skills, have some new techniques, this episode is going to be packed with tips and tricks to help you blow their mind or have yours blown. So, I'm going to cover everything from communication, mindset, techniques, and let's get the fuck into it. Let's turn up the heat and make oral a full body experience that leaves you both breathless. Haha. First things first, let's talk about mindset, right? Great oral sex isn't really just about the technique. It's kind of about like the enthusiasm you bring, the confidence you bring. Attitude matters, all right? You're going to approach oral with this sense of excitement and curiosity. So whether you're into it, like your partner's going to feel that energy, right? Have you ever noticed that? You're like, I don't know if they're feeling this. Am I taking too long? So before you dive in, definitely talk to your partner about kind of what feels good for them. Like if they have any boundaries and if they have any preferences on the tongue game. So definitely lose the pressure, right? Oral sex is not a performance. It's about giving and receiving. So really try to focus on that experience rather than perfection. First things first, my friends, let's do a tips for giving oral sex to vulva owners. So this is going to be for pleasing someone with the vulva. This incredible sensitive area is filled with so many erogenous zones, right? First, start slow. Like you can begin with a soft, teasing kiss around the thighs and the outer vulva, the lips. Building anticipation is half the fun. This will also give them time to be excited and have blood flow start to go down there and enlarge the clitoris. So when the clitoris is turned on, the blood rushes in and actually enlarges, just like a penis would. They're made up of the same type of erectile tissue. So clitoris packed with nerve endings, baby. Oh my God. But it's also really sensitive. So at first, really use like light, consistent pressure and then just, judge based on your partner's reaction. The clitoris has 10,000 nerve endings, okay? It's there for no other purpose except for pleasure. So definitely treat that clit with some specific things, right? So try like circular motions. You can do some gentle flicks with your tongue or a little soft suction. You can use your tongue to like spell out the alphabet. Yes, this is a classic tip, but it always works things, it works to mix things up a little bit. Don't forget to rest, okay? Make sure you get some water nearby if you need it. Make sure you're breathing out your nose. And I want you to not just focus on the clitoris, okay? Everything else, the labia, the vaginal opening, even the areas like the perineum, which is the stretch of skin between the vaginal opening and the anus, can be extremely pleasurable. So switch between all these areas to keep those sensations exciting. Use your hands. So when you combined oral with manual stimulation, you can definitely enhance this. Use your fingers internally while focusing, your mouth on the external pleasure. Listen, lube is your friend, all right? Saliva is great, but if you put a little extra flavored lube in there, that can make it yummy. Make sure there's no sugar and make sure it's body safe, right? Also, just go in hungry. You'll do a great job. All right, so tips for giving oral sex to penis owners. All right. So let's talk about how to rock their world when pleasuring a penis. Really creating that combination of sensations, but keeping things dynamic. All right, so start with your hands. You can, begin with your hands to build arousal. Use like a twisting motion or alternate between firm and gentle strokes. Like give a little bit of everything, right? The power of the tip, baby. The head of the penis is that most sensitive part, right? The frenulum, which is the underside tip of the penis, has 4,000 to 5,000 nerve endings, all right? This is basically the penis clit, okay? So you're going to focus your tongue and your lips here for maximum pleasure. You can swirl your tongue around the tip completely or gently sucking it for added stimulation and pushing your tongue up and down like with a flicking motion on that frenulum area. So like, please Like if you're like gonna try to do that glug glug 3000 thing, right? Like depth isn't everything. Like you don't have to deep throat to give great oral, right? Instead, definitely use your tongue, your lips, your cheeks, get straight up goldfish with that, really suck in, right? Also too, when you are sucking in, if you leave a little area for air to come in there, it gives a cooling sensation. So mixing it up, like alternate between long, slow licks to like shorter, quicker motions, right? And like change up the pressure a little bit. Don't ignore the extras, okay? Definitely incorporate them testicles. The perineum too, which is not your ass, not your balls, right? It's that in between. ABC, ass ball connector, right? Even the inner thighs. Every bit of attention adds to the overall experience. So please feel free to grab some butt cheeks as you thrust it down your throat, right? Eye contact, oh my God. If you're comfortable, look up at your partner, right? Can really add that extra layer of intimacy. If I look up, usually they're looking at the ceiling. So, I mean, just see how it goes, right? So here's some tips for oral for anyone, right? Stay tuned in, right? Like pay attention to the body language, the sounds, the reactions. The cues are going to guide you towards like what feels best for them, right? Don't forget your rhythm, right? Consistency is crucial. So once you find something your partner loves, stick with it and don't change it up too soon, right? Ooh, experimenting with temperature. Ice cubes or warm drinks can actually change the sensation of your mouth, and this adds a different variety, that temperature play. Feedback's your superpower, my friends. So like ask your partner what they love, what they want more of, right? And definitely take your breaks if you need it, right? Because oral sex can be a workout. So definitely switch up with fingers, bring in some toys, anything to keep up the momentum while you're kind of catching your breath, right? So enhancing oral sex with toys. All right. Vibrating toys. If you use a small bullet vibrator on the clitoris or the perineum while performing oral, game changer. Flavored products like I mentioned before. Flavored lubes, edible body oils adds a bit of extra sweetness and reduces friction. How about a blindfold? When you use sensory deprivation tools, it really heightens the rest of the senses, right? So makes every little touch and lick just a bit more intense. Cock rings. So for penis owners, a vibrating cock ring can enhance the sensation during oral. How about some feathers? You can play with textures to create unique sensations. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some common issues, right? Like oral sex is not always easy, and that's okay. How about some jaw fatigue, right? Take a break, use your hands, shift positions to avoid overworking your jaw, right? If you need to like rub your TMJ out with one hand, use your other hand to give a little stroke, right? If you have a gag reflex, I want you to relax and take deep breaths, right? Please don't force anything that feels uncomfortable. I also sell an incredible, it's called deep throat spray. All right. 1 squirt to the back of the throat. You got 5 minutes of numbness. 2 squirts, 10. 3 squirts, 15. And you can straight up deep throat a table lamp. I got you. All right. How about like hygiene concerns, right? Definitely discuss with your partner if like, you prefer them to take a quick shower, right? And if you're feeling self-conscious, remember that your partner is most likely thrilled that this is happening. So confidence grows with practice, right? So my friends, all in all, oral sex is an art, but it's also about connection, creativity, and having fun. So whether you're spicing things up in the bedroom or just looking to, up your game, I hope you enjoyed these techniques and keep that enthusiasm high, right? If you loved today's episode, share with a friend or your partner, and I would love it if you left a review. Until then, friends, stay curious, stay adventuring, please stay adventurous. It is not a test, right? It's just something to play around with. So until next time, stay desiring, stay pleasure-filled, and the best to you. I'll talk to you soon.